What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I'm not sure what day this upload is going to be going up. I think it's going to go up either today, which is Sunday, or tomorrow, which is Monday. I had touched on how I wanted to do gaming uploads and all of that, but nonetheless, let's get straight into the topic. Is should you buy a 2005 to 2009 Mustang V6? Now, I'm coming from the perspective of someone that's owned this now for going on 7 years. And if you guys have seen the channel before, you know that I also have the 03 Cobra. So my perspective might be a little bit different than others. Also, it's a long-term perspective. It's not like I've only owned this car for 3 months. I know this car inside and out. I've had my experiences with it. So I think this is gonna be pretty accurate and most people would agree. Now, should you buy it? It really comes down to a couple of things. What is the main purpose of the car? Are you buying this for performance purposes, or are you buying this as just like a daily driver with a little bit of pep? So my suggestion would be, if you're buying this car, be realistic. This platform, do your research. The 4-liter is a great motor in terms of reliability. It is stout. It will last you a long time as long as you keep up with general maintenance, and it has good low-end torque. Now, if you're buying this for performance, the aftermarket community is really not that big. Typically with like full bolt-ons, you're still in like low 200 wheel range. So my suggestion would be, if you're buying it for performance, look at other options. Reason being is just it costs so much money to get these to a point, and even at that point, they're still really not that quick compared to like the 3.7. The 3.7 is such a crazy good platform for a V6. Those came in the 2011s and up, and those are amazing. But that's not to discourage anyone from buying this, even if you want a car that has a little bit of fun. I mean, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is, if you get one with an auto, is that you would probably want to get like the 410 gears, an exhaust, and maybe a tune if you wanted to, and that would really wake the car up. Now, people do boost these. It's expensive, and is it really, you know, maybe worth that much? That's subjective, but they are great cars and they can look really good. So that's what I enjoy about these cars, right? Is that for an 05, the interior is pretty darn decent, right? Like, this isn't bad. I like this. And there's a ton of aftermarket parts in terms of like cosmetic stuff. So like bumpers, hoods, grills, lights, you name it, there's a ton of them. So that's really cool. So if you guys want to build a car that looks really cool and you're on a little bit of a budget, then these are awesome. And that brings me to my next point, is that these things are cheap, guys. You know, depending on the mileage, I mean, even a relatively lower mileage one is probably going to be under 10,000 realistically. I bought this car in 2014 with 39 or 33, I don't remember, one of those mileage, 39,000 or 33,000 for 10.8. So in today's market now, I mean, obviously this market's a little crazy right now, but I'd imagine you could get one with like 80 to 100,000 miles in the ballpark of like 5 to 7,000, which is not bad at all. I mean, there's not too many reliable, like decent cars you're gonna be able to get in that price range. So that's not bad, and they're reliable. I know I already said that, but like, knock on plastic, this car has never let me down, ever, mechanically. The only small issues I have, which I'm going to do another video kind of discussing them and how you can prevent them, is that the gauges go bad. There's nothing you can do there. I think it's the stepping motors, and you can go in there and like solder them and whatnot. I'm not that mechanically inclined, and honestly, it is what it is. I have the electronic. The only one I really care about is my speed and how much I have gas left, but it's electronic too, so I just view it that way versus my like 3 times filled tank. So I just look at that. And then the door cards fall off, that he said that's an easy fix. What else? I mean, that's really like about it. Someone had mentioned about like a plastic thermostat goes bad or something along those lines. I haven't had that issue. Granted, my car only has 52,000 miles, so I don't know. I haven't really heard about that until someone had mentioned it, but I'm not super worried. Another cool thing about these cars is that since they're the 5x114 wheel pattern, is that you have like unlimited wheels to choose from. So that's another really awesome thing about these cars to keep in mind, is that you can get just about any wheels you want on this car, and they can fit decently aggressive wheels. The only thing to keep in mind though is that these are a solid rear axle, so if you're watching this and you want to bag your car, you can't add any camber. So don't buy this if you're trying to do a stance car, because you can't tuck or even go like fender to lip. You're just going to sit on tire no matter what you do. So back to like the performance side of things, they also sound good with the right exhaust. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the cat delete, muffler delete, and just have it dumped. I think these things sound like a tractor. Again, just my personal preference. I think with just a nice exhaust, so this one has the SLP power flow exhaust, and it's kind of deep, it's somewhat throaty, and once you get to like 3,000 RPMs, it opens up a little bit, and it sounds good. But I'm not a huge fan of like, let's be obnoxious. Like, I'm more so about tone. Granted, the Cobra is very loud, but that car with that exhaust setup actually does sound pretty darn good. Whereas this car, my friend had the Flowmaster, I think it's like the American Thunder, and that sounded good too. But then I also had another friend that had a muffler delete, and that was just a little too much for my taste. It just, the tone was off. It's very raspy to say the least. Now, another thing about these cars when it comes to should you buy is what's like the end goal. Right now, I kind of touched on this earlier, is like the performance versus aesthetics. But like, do you want to keep these forever? Like, is this a car you want to keep forever, or is this like a short-term car? Reason I bring that up is because in the long term, these cars I don't foresee ever really appreciating in value. So buying like a low mileage one for a good chunk of change, you're probably not going to get your investment back. But if you're buying something short-term just to like kind of putt around town or whatever, like, you'll probably break even. So keep that in mind as well, because I feel like a lot of people don't touch on like the values. I think these cars pretty much already hit rock bottom. Not that that's a bad thing, it's a good thing, because they're so darn reliable. I mean, no joke, guys, I have not put anything into this car other than just like oil changes. Like, not one issue. Now, for a while I had to check engine light. I had said that, and it was, I think, P0174 or something. Ooh, Huracan. Very nice. That's sweet. And it was just an O2 sensor, so it is what it is. I didn't even have to replace it. I just flashed it, got rid of it, and it hasn't come back, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, guys, that's kind of where I'm at as a like owner. And do I recommend it to others? Yes. Just again, be very realistic with what your expectations are, because I know I got this car when I was, oh man, I just turned 18. I was coming from a 97 Honda Accord. So this car was like, holy crap, like I'm a badass. And don't get me wrong, I'm still super proud of this car, right? So I know I went a little above and beyond with, you know, the looks, mainly like the hood. The hood is a little in your face, quite literally. But I wouldn't change it, man. This car has a lot of character. But also, I'm not that kid that speeds around and acts like it's fast and all this other garbage and whatnot. So yeah, guys, I'm hoping that gives you guys some insight. And if you're curious about whether or not you should buy one, definitely. I'm probably going to pull into a parking lot and get some outside footage so you guys can see kind of how the car looks, because right now you're just seeing the point of view. So I'm going to go park at that little park area, get out and show you guys, talk a little bit more, and I will catch y'all in a minute. All right, guys, I know it's super windy, so I'm going to make this short, but here's my 2005. Here's what I've done to it, for those wondering. I love how this thing looks. I'm really hoping the wind noise isn't too bad, but I have a feeling it is. So yeah, guys, I guess the main summary here is, do I recommend buying it, or should you buy a 2005 to 2009 Mustang V6? Absolutely. Just have realistic expectations. Know what you're getting yourself into in terms of performance. In terms of styling, I think it's a fantastic platform. It looks good. You know, a couple simple things here and there, and it really just makes it look a lot better in my opinion. And then in terms of performance, you know, do some fun stuff. Like I said, if you want to make it a little bit quicker, tune exhaust, 410 gears if you have the auto. If you have a manual, maybe do like 373s. And yeah, and then throw some wheels and tires on it, because that really helps, because the stock ones are very small. I think they're like 16s. So these are 20s, 19s fit really, very nice too. And then a quick overview on the exterior modifications. We have the Cervini 4-inch cowl hood, bullet grille, GT front bumper with the CDC chin spoiler. We have the GT 500 rear spoiler, Ford Star F14s. And in the back, we have the SLP power flow exhaust. We have the Euro style taillights. We have this like third brake light cover. I think that's about it. For those interested in the wheel specs, it's a 20 by 9.5 and then a 20 by 11 in the rear. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna cut this one here. I have this at the end of the video. I really appreciate you all watching. If you have any questions about this car, please drop it in the comments. I'm pretty quick to respond. I'll just be completely honest with you guys and tell you anything y'all need to know. And I really appreciate everyone watching. If you enjoyed, please drop it a like, or like I said, any comments or any questions, drop it in the comments below. And yeah, guys, I will catch you in tomorrow's upload. Later, guys.